There are two words that are responsible for selling more Blu-rays, VHS, and DVDs than anything else in this world, and that would be director's commentary, or perhaps bonus features. But in this case, we're talking director's commentary. In a DC, a director's commentary is always based on the final cut of the film, or sometimes the director's cut, and you get to hear the director and sometimes a couple of the actors talk about what went down when they made the film. But one of the most popular videos I've ever made, not only on YouTube, but inside our course, Art of Documentary, was when AOD co-founder Michael and I commentated our shooting on set. We took an hour cut of the behind the scenes of us filming his latest feature, Clear Sky, and commentated how and why we shot certain things. What's very exciting is that film has had an incredible festival run, and it's going to be released very soon online. So in order to celebrate that and actually provide you one of our best resources inside AOD, here is the full director's commentary on set with both Michael and I of the film Clear Sky. And if you want some more free resources for your filmmaking, down below we have our interview playbook. This is our step-by-step guide to how we get the best interviews, and you'll even see some of the techniques from that guidebook being used in this video when I talk to people like Janice in the film. And as well, we have our $0 budget guide to making films. So many projects are birthed out of passion and just don't have the budget behind them yet, but that shouldn't stop you from making the films you care about most. So you can download any of these resources down below. They're part of the Art of Documentary. That's our course and academy. Our doors are reopening for you to join and be a part of Art of Documentary at the end of August. We have 7 courses and thousands of filmmakers who are ready to connect with you and help you make the projects that are on your heart and mind. I'm gonna get out of the way and we're gonna show you, this is one of the original early day AOD videos. You're gonna get to see some old long hair from Mark Bone, but enjoy this video and I'll be here at the end to talk a little more about AOD. Hey guys, this is exciting. This is actually the first video of the new season of Art of Documentary.
It's so awkward.
Yeah, Mike's not used to this stuff. But what we wanted to do in this video is talk about which coffee we prefer. I make a 10-minute coffee over in the kitchen. Hipster coffee.
He measures the beans.
Yeah, I do. And what do you drink?
I get a grande Americano and a venti cup.
Yeah,
heavy
in
cream.
Starbucks.
Yeah.
There you go. We usually do the Tim Hortons, which is dirt water. But anyways, we're just having some fun because we get to talk more on this. It's not like YouTube where I got to get right into it. But today in the video, we're going to go over the behind the scenes of one of Michael's latest films, Clear Sky.
Our latest films.
I like that. Yeah, it's camaraderie. But we want to give you guys just some more behind the scenes, talk a bit about our process. What we really want to give you guys is the details, the playbook of why we're doing certain things, even where I'm holding the camera, kind of give you an insight into our brain of how we approach a film day. Because it is important. How you film your project's important.
The process. Yeah. Absolutely. I think it's like one of the comments, we put a survey out to the students, and I think, it's kind of unanimous that people want to feel like they're on set a little more. And so that's what, we want to start doing here. And then in the future, as we try to add some more videos, we're aware of that. Like, I know you want to be able to witness what the process, what we're thinking, why we're doing it, because that really helps create confidence in your own filmmaking, just to know, what direction you're going and everything.
I know for me, even just seeing some people like the Ron Howard masterclass, or just seeing like a photo of my favorite cinematographer, seeing how they hold the camera and what lights they're using. Sometimes even when they have the same light that I own, I'm like, okay.
And like the proximity of like the director. It's like some directors like being in a monitor in another room where and I see like...
Or you don't even like a director's monitor.
I like being beside the camera. So it's just, I know for a lot of you guys that's kind of important, and I get it. Like, I always kind of relished those opportunities when I was starting, just to try to get on sets and just try to be, a fly on the wall. So that's what we want to do here is, virtually put you on set with us. So, yeah. Anyway, let's dive in.
6:15. Why do we get up early, Mikey? Sunrise. Well, in this case, it was a race we were filming. Making a coffee. See, look, here's my hipster coffee.
Here's more. I definitely showed up with a Starbucks on this
He
day.
does. I gotta weigh my coffee.
It's definitely not my favorite coffee.
No, but this is an experience. This is waking me up right now. This is ritual.
Yeah, well, when I have a 2-year-old say "Dada," that's waking me up. So I don't need it. I just need to get out.
That's true. You get your cortisol.
I remember this when I before Adrian, I used to do the pour over.
Did you?
Oh yeah, I used to have a pour over. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Listen, I came from Guelph here. Just FYI, so I just driven. I was probably up at 4:30 because
7:15. 7:15. But
so
you got.
I left at 5:30 from Guelph.
But you don't film during the middle of the. You do interviews in the middle of the day.
Yeah.
This is the pancake schedule.
And I'll say this is, as you guys are filmmakers, this to me is really some of, I don't know, this to me is like the time before a race. You know, this is like the mental prep. Like I have a wife and a kid, so for me it's like I like getting in the car, I like getting my coffee, because I don't have a ton of time before, like getting my head right and just thinking about what are we actually doing today? What are we trying to accomplish? Like I generally am not the kind of person who does a bunch of shot lists. It's much more kind of thematic and kind of the scenes I'd like to, you know, the essence of the scene I'd like to capture versus making sure we get, you know, shot A, B, or C. I find we are able to get that. That's just my personal thing. So
that works for you, like, because you approach your edit different than me, and so that's why I think it's okay. We always talk about in the art of documentary, these are principles. Like, you got to find what works for you.
Yeah, for me it's just often like I think ultimately it's a balance, of course. But again, these kind of driving in moments to get Mark, and then we go to the shoot. Like it's a lot of that kind of just getting your head in the space of, because once we get later in the video, once you get into filming, at that point I kind of like, personally, I like to observe. Like I like to let things unfold and have, and I don't like being in my head, if that makes sense. Like this is the time to more be in my head. Yeah, this to me is kind of like once the difference between, in my mind, directing a commercial or a scripted film versus documentary is when you hit record, you got to go silent. You know, like personally, like I try not. You'll see, like when we look at that footage. So this kind of pre-time before the shoot is just really important. You time, like that's your time to just go inside your head, think about what, you know, where you think, what kind of scenes you'd like to see today, what sort of emotions, and then, you know, then you get at it. So
you go through the hassle. You've done this before. I know there's different ways. People use segues, or the thing I really want us to get is I want us to get a little trailer that we can pull someone on a bike. But can you explain to them while I go get more coffee why you use, like, why use a bike? Like, why is it important to go through that hassle for your movie? Yeah,
so a little context here as well is we're going to film our character Sean. He's running a race, and you know, I filmed running footage a lot in my career. It was the first, I was a runner, and then my first film, Transcend, was about a runner, and we were in Africa. We tried capturing it on tripods, you know, we tried going on the back of cars, motorcycles, everything. And for me, it's pretty essential to have some type of side-by-side connection with the character. So we couldn't obviously get a motorcycle because it's like we're going to a cross-country race and there's like trails and it was going to be very hard. But, you know, we squeezed a bike in the car because I just wanted to make sure we had those special moments that felt like it's just production value. At one level, it's production value. You know, you're really trying to capture that footage that I find documentaries a lot of times you'll see it's just kind of on the sticks and you just kind of get a passing by shot of your character. And so it's like I'm just trying to find ways to like make it more cinematic. I know that's an overused word, but it's like if this was a real movie, we would have a cable set up in the forest, or you'd have whatever,
the Russian arm
going with them. So it's like just trying to create something a little more cinematic to be like, wow, this kind of feels like it steps a little bit outside the traditional documentary way of shooting.
And so in this footage you're seeing right now of Clear Sky running, Michael is actually on a bike.
Yeah. And this is really the beauty of these new cameras we're using, like the FX9. I wish we had the FX6 for this stuff.
I know, yeah, because that was heavy.
Yeah, thinking about it now, like, or the FX3 would have
been better.
Would be insane, because I'm using the FX9.
You could use the Shep's mic.
Totally.
Oh my gosh, you can use the Shep's mic on the FX3.
I know. So the thing, what we're trying to get back to is really the autofocus is the real challenge. I mean, when you have to have one hand on the bike and then one hand on the camera back, even just a year ago when I was doing this, we were using the FS7, which didn't have autofocus on our Canon lenses.
No, so you were two-handing it.
Yeah, you did. So
and the autofocus was garbage on the FX.
So that's just a huge, it's just using the tools that you have to your advantage. So now it's like, with the autofocus, you can get right to the character. You see some footage here, is the FX9 on the bike.
Yep.
And now this footage here is the A7 III on a gimbal.
Yep. Which I wish we had the FX3 or the A7S3 for
Totally.
that. But it still worked out. The Sony Cinema LUTs we use work across all the cameras. It just matters. It's just the bit depth. If you've seen the YouTube video about this, this is us, me and Mikey. We listen to the
panhandles. Right?
You listen to the music ahead of time. Where is it here? Let's scroll back. Yeah. Here.
This is something I'm super passionate about. Music, like that was video, if I wasn't in film, I would have loved to be a musician. Just wasn't good enough. But I try to get composers to get me sketches, even like during production, as early as possible. Personally, I mean, on the last film, Ray, like I had sketches from the composer, and I was listening to those while filming, definitely before and after, and editing, but often even during. So I'm big on that. This film I haven't done that yet, but so we're using just getting in the zone.
Yeah, it's true.
I think find that tone or mood that you guys like. Sometimes it's Led Zeppelin. Like sometimes for me, it's like. When I was doing Transformer, I remember I listened to a lot of like American rock, like or British rock or American rock, a lot of stuff that the character listened to try and get into that like lifting space. So it's like set yourself up for what you're gonna be, how you're gonna edit it.
Here, this is us getting the drone out. Drones for a long time I felt were overused, but they are just the cleanest way to establish a new environment and the easiest way to get between two different scenes.
This is me learning what a drone is.
yeah. I like it, Mike. You
this is great.
But there's things you teach me about cameras. You just taught me about the autofocus on this. I don't know.
Just some production context. We're on the way to the race here, and we left. We made sure we gave ourselves a little bit of time just so we could stop and get some establishing shots.
And they were gorgeous in the fall.
And we'll use them honestly. Like,
and what was interesting is I was like, oh, let's just get the establishing, but you're like, no, why we need these is my character is on a huge journey in his life, and I need to show the seasons changing. And I was like, wow, that for me, I'm just thinking cinematically. I'm like, oh, we just need to establish where we are. But
we got a couple. We got a couple shots. Like, yes, you can get your one establishing, but then you also have to be thinking long term, being like, we might be making this film over the course of a year, so there it is, beautiful.
Oh, it's stunning.
Oh my gosh, you could use this anywhere. Like this, that car could represent Sean going to a race. Yeah. That could definitely be opening for that scene. But then there's that is gorgeous. Holy cow, that's that Mavic, that little thing.
The little Mavic Pro 2.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's with the MB. That's with the LUT too.
Wow.
Yeah.
Gorgeous.
I know, it's stunning. Well, you get because in the shadows you get the blues, and
so we did a few shots just to make sure we had some options.
We also didn't record to the SD card. if you guys mess up and you delete it, don't worry.
That's good to tell them.
I did. I don't use the Mavic that often. Especially now in Canada, that there's a ton more rules around it, and so I'm in. I've just gotten my licenses, but I wasn't using it for a while. So when I came back on, I didn't have. It was recording to the internal thing,
which is like a proxy.
It's a proxy. It wasn't recording to the SD card, and this is why prepping your gear the day before. Just because I grabbed it off the shelf and I was like, oh, I've shot with this before, and then partway through we were like, it was like internal memory full, and I was like, oh no.
Oh, you at least got the windmills.
Yeah, well, once we realized it, we shot it again.
See, so this to me, is a different look. Like, I know it's the same flight, but this to me is...
You could use it another part of the movie.
You could definitely use this at another part. So it's like, just...
We want to get him on those trails there.
That was cool.
Yeah.
So, that's just always something when your guys are going to shoot, just trying to give yourself that extra 30 minutes or something before or after.
Totally.
Just to...
It literally
It'll save you.
It impacts... If you just spend half an hour the day before building up your camera, turning it on, hitting record, you will save yourself like this. If I had practiced with the Mavic the day before.
The other thing, Yes.
And then looking at it on your computer.
Yeah.
Everything looks good on a small screen.
So, and then I'll give you a tip. This is something I did on that film Ray that's yet to be released. I didn't shoot any B-roll while I was actually with him, but because I filmed only 10 minutes from my house, I would go out on just dedicated B-roll shoots, which was really cool actually. It was a different way of thinking. Like I'd go film the lake, I'd go film the cars, I'd go film just some different textures. So you could do it that way too, depending on the proximity of, where your story is from yourself. But this was several hours from us. So, we just were like, just plan your days.
And that's so important, right? Like Sri Lanka, up until the day we got on the flight, like all the stuff you'll see here from the train sequence in No Country's an Island, with the poster up there, that whole sequence, which ended up being really integral to Amajad's meditation about Sri Lanka at the beginning. We shot that. It was
a B-roll day.
It was a B-roll day, but we actually went right from there. I'm pretty sure to our flight.
Yeah,
we just wrung out every ounce of.
It was going to be hard to make another trip back to Sri Lanka. So no, I remember that we had like a full day. We were so focused, and this is something to keep in mind. Like this is just kind of the versatility you have to have in your own filmmaking. Is depending on the access with your character, you might only get them for X amount of time. Like in the Sri Lanka documentary, we were only there for so many days, and that was the priority. It was a luxury. We would have had to make the film work with what we had. Thankfully, we found an extra day or half a day, whatever it was, and then as Mark said, that's where we went out and you could really add some more special elements. So I think the point here is if you only have one option, you have to shoot your A-roll. You have to get your character's story development. If you're smart and plan your production days and give yourself some time or other days, then you can create kind of more cinematic, pickup days.
Yeah.
So
that's even like the B-roll, this little shot here, this was for my YouTube video. And I just wanted to get a shot of us traveling because I was like, how do you go from aerials to the race? You don't always have to show
You can
traveling.
use this though. Like, I mean, in my mind, it's like,
you could use that in the film. It's pretty garbage, but
it's like it's kind of the dirt mixed with the beauty, right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you got these beautiful drone shots, and you can imagine kind of this just rough, just an insert, like just to help get you there.
Totally. So here we are, packing up well before the race. Some people ask what camera. When I'm not flying, I'll use the flight case there. Ironically, when I'm flying, I like smaller stuff, and I keep my cameras with me. But in this case, I like these hard cases because, as you can see, I can build my camera anywhere.
Yeah.
I couldn't build a camera on the ground there, so I like the hard case for that. But I'm using, what am I using there? This is for the tech people. So we're using the Shep's mic here, which I always say the price, not as a flex, but to let you know how important sound is to us. And Mikey paid for it, I didn't. But it's a $3,000 microphone.
We got it used. You can get them used. They're
used
analog.
To use this.
Which was terrible. This was terrible, though.
Really? I don't mind this. This is what I use for all my YouTube.
Yeah.
It sounds good.
I used it for Ray.
Yeah, you used it for Ray. Mike says terrible. My standards for audio are
it's
lower.
the most basic. Like, that's like kind of your basic, one of your more basic.
It's a basic B.
It's like your basic professional. It's the lowest end of like a professional shotgun.
Okay, jeez.
So, well, I mean, all I'm trying to say is you don't need to go to the Shep's $3,000. Like there's great options between this and the Blue Shep's.
Exactly.
So.
Now Mikey uses this to stir his Starbucks.
Yeah. Well, just a quick piece of production kind of planning advice for you guys. Like, just so you know, we're here at the race course. Let's just roll it for a minute.
Yeah.
We're here probably, I think we were there about 30, 40 minutes before our character. And that was all planned. Like, we knew when he was going to get there. And so we knew we had to get there, X amount of time earlier to both scout it out a little bit.
100%.
Mark had to build the camera, get all the settings, what we're shooting. You can do that before. That can definitely help you.
But you have a Ronin. You can see the Ronin in the background. We need time for that.
So this is where just talk to your character. Hey, what time are you getting to the event? What time, okay, we're going to be there 30 minutes before, an hour before. It's like going to battle, right? You got to be there first.
The more time you have, the more buffer you have to get rid of confusion. And as we always say, you can't be confused. You're allowed to be stressed.
There is nothing, well, I don't even want you to be that stressed. Like, there's almost...
I always am stressed when I'm filming.
You're always stressed, but the last thing you want is to be showing up, something's happening, and you're trying to you got to format the card. Oh, it's in 1080. I got to go to 4K.
That's confusion.
That's confusion. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So just, I'm one to blame. Like, I go through all the work. I learned this early in the first couple of years of my filmmaking career. Like, I went through all this work coming up with great ideas, finding interesting characters, and then I just wouldn't go through the effort of making sure my exposure was perfect. And, like, you know, you just don't get the shots you need. So you can't.
And then you're looking at it for a year in the edit.
And you regret it. You're angry. Like, it's not usable. It's not timeless. Like, it's a lot to get right, but that's why I'm so thankful when I have someone like Mark who can worry much more about.
But that's why we work in teams like this, Like, I brought you out on Battleground with Julian to focus on that so I could talk to him,
Totally.
And see, there's a little key thing. We'll rewind that. That right there on my back. You have one of those now.
Yeah.
I highly recommend.
I always had. I thought I lost it. I was so happy.
No, we found it. I wore it.
This is the secret documentary.
Yeah, exactly. A little
tool.
fanny pack. You just put a bunch of batteries. I always throw an extra lens in there and a bunch of wipes because you never know. Yeah, you never know what's gonna cards.
There's some cool ones on Amazon. There's like a bigger version of that too. Like I would even throw in an extra if I was out in the field like without a car nearby. Throw in an extra lav. Mm-hmm. Throwing an extra lav in case a character comes by, you need to mic quick, some batteries. Yeah, extra lav, extra camera cards, extra batteries, and an extra lens if you want.
And then two things about this image. I mean, besides that, my monitor's totally had the crap kicked out of it. What's going on here? There we go. Oh no, let me fast forward here. Let me just pause right there. Two things. One, that's called an ultralight arm. You can find. Everyone always asks me what arm I use. I'm like, I just had 2 more emails about it this morning. Than this, the small HD. You get the biggest monitor you can on set because, like we were saying, in our test days, we'll shoot a bit of footage, bring it onto the computer. You want the biggest monitor that you can flick on LUTs on and off on set because you want to know what your final product is going to look like. When you're looking on the back of your little mirrorless screen, you're just setting yourself up for disappointment. And I will always go through the extra battery charging, the extra hassle, always to have the monitor. Some people like Michael are more used to the smaller monitors, and I'm always amazed with the work he does.
I like Zoom Finder.
But I've always used the small HD, so for me it always feels like I'm going back.
I guess the lesson there is like, what's that old saying about the gun you bring into battle? Like, don't bring someone else's weapon in. Like, if Mark likes that monitor, so use that. Like, don't. These are like your battles, your shoots, right? So if you want to test something out, test it at home. This is some nice dirt.
Yeah, our cameraman didn't hit stop record. There you go. And this happens. Have you ever done that where you've hit record and you think you're starting it and you're actually ending it?
Yeah, I've done that a few times.
Yeah,
it's not great.
Oh, there's a long one. There we go.
Getting the bike ready. I think when you just saw me texting there, I'm almost positive I was texting with Sean, just asking how far out they were. So
wasn't there a flat on this too?
It was a tough bike. It's a cross country course, so you're like.
So here, this is
scouting.
This is scouting, and you always bring a camera to your scout because what I did while Michael was waiting for Sean. I went off into the forest here.
Got some B-roll.
Cut to the B-roll. I think I have some of that B-roll right here. There you go. Just some establishing shots. I love Terrence Malick films, so I always consider it like texture.
It's like it's just breathing room between, especially if it's an intense film or some just breathing moments for the audience to digest what happened or what's about to happen, prepare for what's about to happen.
And this took me 5 minutes to shoot, and I'm sure it'll make it into the edit. It's beautiful tones in the forest that day. So that's what you were seeing me do here, walking into the forest. Where is it?
There you
go. Yeah, you're right.
There he is.
There I am shooting that footage there.
Nothing fancy, no slider, just.
I don't do sliders. I don't even like gimbals.
Yeah.
Because with the FX9 or the Sony series, the Catalyst, and also just stabilization, but also too, I don't mind handheld. There is times like I was watching. What's that film about the guy who climbs the thing in Yosemite? I just watched it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that film with Alex.
What's his name?
Climb Up. What's it called? No. Far Out. He won an Academy
Won an
Award.
Oscar.
That film, the title's here. They used a lot of gimbals to follow him to the rock, the wall that he would actually climb, and I was always impressed with that they would take the time to do that. Where I would have just done hand free solo. What do you think of that film?
I didn't like it.
No,
the climb is ridiculous. Yeah, I didn't like it.
I thought they did a good job of really like bringing the girlfriend into it, which made the climb more significant.
Yeah.
What would you want? How would you have done it differently?
Personally, like I don't know. On that type of I just felt it was too Nat Geo highly produced. Like and maybe this is
because it was produced by Nat Geo.
Yeah, I know. Felt like kind of photographers but I don't know. It lost some of its rawness. I felt like bringing in I don't know. I actually didn't like the girlfriend. I thought that was like a forced element. Like I thought I didn't think she was even significant at all. Like I would have preferred just to be in the guy's head the whole time, and then the whole they brought in the whole storyline of like the production of it being ethically weird. But I just wanted a badass. I guess I just wanted something more.
But I think he
handheld, and it felt like very. Yeah, I don't know.
But I don't want to be an armchair psychologist, but I think Alex's his own social levels of skills or his own emotional intelligence. I don't know if you could have made a whole film with that. You needed the girlfriend who could emote and talk about that.
Yeah. Yeah. The climb, anyway.
Yeah.
The climb was incredible.
The climb, he was nuts. Let's get into some racing here. I'm talking about shooting. I'm probably saying the exact same stuff. Oh, this is funny. This is this is the classic student film shot. I still do this. Shooting the tops of trees. Just different perspectives. There we are, shooting more trees. Let's get into things here. So, one thing I appreciate is about your approach, Michael, is that you don't actually like to use a director's monitor. I don't know if that's because, like, for me, I come from the commercial world, and that was always handed to me, and I liked it, but you seem to stick close to your cameraman, but you talk. I mean, that way you're not looking down, you're actually looking them in the eye, like this scene for Clear Sky. Like, what's your approach here?
Yeah, so he basically just got here, and we're, let me listen to a second, because basically the process for myself with directing is, the biggest difference between a scripted film and a documentary is that your character is doing all of the writing. They're writing your dialogue. So, for me, it's trying to ask just some simple questions to find out where they're at on that day. I might have some ideas on where I'd like to go or what I'd like to get out of it. Some kind of question, because it's like you have what you had just filmed in the last shoot. You kind of have an idea of what their arc is, but ultimately they're the writer. So here, Mark's, it's a very simple setup where we're letting Sean do the writing. We're letting him just kind of giving him some cues and trying not to interrupt. It's a lot of listening and just trying to kind of. It really is listening, like just hearing where he's at, what the emotion, what he's feeling, and just trying to capture really those kind of processing moments.
Yeah.
I think that's...
So how often do you involve your voice?
When there's enough silence, but I always give it an awkward amount of, like, after he's done talking, like he gives his thought, make sure you guys are just... Give yourself 5, 10, 15 seconds before you even go to the next question, because often what happens, the real magic comes when someone says something like, I'm nervous about this shoot today, or I'm nervous about this race today. It's been a long time since, I was last on a start line. And
you would have interrupted them right at most people it's been a long time to race. You're like, and then you jump in.
Yeah, when was the last race you did?
Yeah.
You try, but don't let them work through it, and let them kind of self-direct themselves. I think the job of the director in the documentary is more just to sort of shift and provide cues, because you have a general idea on where you're going in the film, but ultimately, again, it's trying to get those real processing moments out of him. So if you just even watch like our body language here, we're
telling him he's in control.
Yeah, like, and you'll see something I do a lot of so I'm nodding without saying anything. It's something I've learned is I try to nod or like, I try to engage without using words because I don't want the mic to pick it up, but I want him to know I am here. And you can actually use like some facial expressions to sort of trigger him, like even like like give me more, like, you know. So
I find the eyebrows direct half the film. Wow.
And then sometimes I'm as you know, I'll sometimes even say, like, when he's on a roll, I'll just be like, like, keep going, like, without saying it, just more, give me more, and they'll go, like,
there you are, nodding.
Right.
And I'm not trying to get many cameras because in this moment for me shooting this, I'm expecting that you're not going to use this whole scene. You're going to use moments. So I'm trying to not. Like, I'll give you some different camera angles. It's the difficulty with a prime.
And we get it later, too.
But we get it later,
right?
exactly.
If you keep playing, Mark's really good at, like we are getting we're not trying to do two things at once here. Like, he's focused on getting a good frame of you know.
Sean, we can cut to the footage, too, of him talking.
Totally. And then if you scroll, if we just move forward here a little bit, now, you know, this is now our B-roll. Like, now Sean's not talking.
There's the tripod. That's why I went to the side of the car.
Right. Yeah, you got it.
I changed the angle. That's fine.
That's why I don't like gear.
Yeah,
it's always in the way.
I know. Who needs tripods? I needed it because of the 70-200 that we shot with.
But so now here's an opportunity. This is huge advice I have for first-time filmmakers, documentarians, is always get room with your character not talking. Like, you know, you don't need to always be asking them questions. Like, this is great right now. We could be using this footage over that last interview bit we just shot. You know, we could be cutting away from that to some of this stuff, and it still feels real time,
totally
urgent in the moment right before the race.
And I want to go back. It's a simple little thing, but it's you know, why working in teams is a great thing. Right now, I'm thinking about everything technically. I'm like, am I framing out the tripod? Am I getting a shot of his face because you want face? I'm thinking of all that. Michael right now, he's standing there. He's glanced down at the monitor, and you're thinking about the edit. You're like, you know what?
We got 3 seconds.
We have 3 seconds, and
let's move back.
But you've also looked at it and been like, I have so many shots from this size.
Or I've just seen like we got that shot.
Yeah.
You know,
and then
Mark,
you tap me here, and I just know I'm like, oh, you're asking for something.
The cinematographer, right?
And so then I come around. We got rid of the tripod, and
So now you could go from a wide to a tight.
Yeah, just switching up the angles. And that's
you want to get you do want enough coverage.
And here's a little trick too. I'm on a prime lens. This is a quick way to get two different people are like, oh, but you can't zoom in on a prime. But you can change your perspective. I'm waist level here, and then I go down low.
There's your cut.
So there's a cut. There's a cut right there. We go from the feet to the face. So it's that. I mean, there's two different shots, right. And then there's a new shot. And I also want to quickly show too. Oh, wait, here. This is actually a really cool moment. There's
like
Michael.
This is guys. When you know. By the way, like just so we're clear, like this is what it looks like to make a doc for Mark and I. Obviously I'm directing, so this is more my style. Mark might have a little more of his commercial bend, so a little bit more.
But I'm trying to do more of this.
Right.
This is doc.
But just so you guys see, like this is how we make it.
Yeah.
It's like this is the film. This is one person shooting, somebody else, just kind of following along, giving cues.
But it's also, I mean, you can see Michael just holding onto my shirt, so I know where to go. But this is also taking both of us on our films. This is taking you trust.
Yeah.
But it's you've had to.
We trust each other.
We've had to build trust this way because I know
and
for me
and the language,
and it's like, but also going back and reviewing the footage and you being, oh, I want that differently, or I'm like, hey, I've tried this. Like, there's trust that has to develop.
Yeah, so. I'm rarely worried whether your exposure's right or whether you're in focus. Like,
but it's more so story driven.
I'm thinking story. You're thinking technical. So
and talking technical, just a quick thing here for the gear guys. I'll show you how you shoot all day. I had the opportunity to shoot with an easy rig on this, but I decided not to because I find when you're running around with an easy rig and you have that handle, it fights you unless you have the screen arm. But then you're just a giant Terminator. You can see the way I'm shooting here is if I'm going to shoot all day, I don't want to feel like I'm lifting anything. So what have I done? I've just cradled my arms and I have them resting here. This is an easy position. I'm literally not even really holding on to the camera. I'm holding it like a baby. And then that's where this monitor arm, you can see I'm adjusting it there. I'm trying to get it up to my face as close as possible so that, because the last thing you want to be doing is down here holding a mirrorless camera. I see people with the tiny screen getting in there, or I mean, sometimes you hold it up to your eye is good when there's lots of sun out, but also too, I want the camera just to be there. I don't want to be hunched over, because then at the end of the day, when you really have the moments where your character's spooling out their emotions, and you're exhausted.
And you got you've got the foresight to know you might be holding the camera here for 10 minutes straight.
Yeah.
So it's like, don't hurt yourself trying to get, in an awkward angle. Mark's smart to do this, because we got a long day of filming here. Yeah,
and the sky was nice. That's why I'm shooting low. I could have put the camera up on my shoulder, but I liked where the sky was. So here we are. Let's keep fast forwarding. Just get this. Michael's there, but I'm just keep rolling. And then these are the real moments. We've been with him already for 10, 15 minutes. He forgets the camera's there. So we get a nice little, this is an important part of the film, the relationship. I'm not sure to film. You tap me there. I'm like, oh, go. So they had this. So Clear Sky's partner, Janice here, she was a bit, apprehensive, to want to be a part of the film. You can understand they're going through a really tough time in their life, and there's cameras that are there. So
and she's really doing it for a favor for Sean. Like, this film is for Sean. He's the one who wants to do it.
Sean being Clear Sky.
Clear Sky, yeah. Sean's wanting to use it as a way to, like, document his journey, to help keep him on the straight and narrow, whereas Janice, I think, is, she's being supportive of her partner, so it's taken quite a while. We can roll through this. It's taken quite a while for her to be as not even open, but just accepting of the idea that we need her to be truthful on camera. Like, that's not an easy thing for a lot of people to do, to, like, actually say what they feel and what they're doing and where they're at in life. So this is a really interesting thing that's happening right now. What you're seeing is I'm off with Sean just scouting out the race course, and Mark's using this as an opportunity to sort of break down some of those walls. And this is something Mark and I have talked about, and it's really insightful. Like, we'll play a clip here from Transformer. This was also an incredibly serendipitous moment where I'm off on the other side of the river with the main character and the sons, and one of the cameramen / producer, Tad, is filming with the father, and gets this moment of, like, one of my favorite moments of the film, just saying exactly what the father thinks of this whole situation.
He's always been into any kind of sport, always played with the big boys, played ball, everything they've done when they were kids, everything I've ever done with them, it's always been the macho shit, It's a total shock to me. I still don't believe it, don't really agree with it, but it's what he wants to do. I can't talk him out of it. If that's his decision, well, not much I can do about it. Like I said, I don't think it's right, but he's not going to listen to me.
Mark's doing the same thing here. I'll let him kind of explain what's happening, but this is something for you guys to, to use your team strategically on set.
Yeah, well, we call this we came up with this morning, the taxi driver. So often you get into a taxi cab and the person in the taxi driver is like, hey, how's your day? And you're like, bah, you just spill it all out. And it's like, why? Well, because he seems like there's an anonymity. Like, you don't know the guy and you feel like you're not going to see him again. So that's why sometimes using your cameraman or your sound guys, they can actually help you get that next step further, because as a filmmaker, you're with the subject so often, you almost become like family, and so it's difficult for them to sometimes want to
get into a pattern.
Exactly.
You get into a certain pattern with the director, maybe you get so it's like, this is a way to sort of break that pattern and
exactly
figure out I don't know, a new way to approach them that may not have worked just you and them. So it's not a bad idea. I've done it. I can give you great examples in all my films. Yeah, transcend
that one moment with Wesley in the hotel. Like that was
there's a few moments.
Yeah,
but I was thinking of another one.
And that doesn't mean you're not a good director. That's not what we're saying. We're saying just switching it up.
No, I think it's very tactful. Like so
even tactical here. You can see I have the camera at my hip, and I'm pretty sure I'm rolling there. But what I did though, the first thing I said with her to that day, because we knew how much Janice didn't want to be a part of it at this point.
Do you have the footage? Yeah, just watch some.
Beautiful, yeah.
While you talk.
But with Janice, I just told her, I'm like, hey, this is weird, hey? I was like, having cameras in your face, and I was like, and filming life, and she was like, yeah, it is. And so I was able to just acknowledge to her a bit of like kind of the absurdity of what making a film is, and she actually really opened up in the forest when we went to the forest later on. She opened up and gave a bit of her heart and what was going on, and even got a bit emotional. And it was it's not a pat on my back, but it was just the fact that we were able to kind of create this intimate moment where she felt safe. And that's kudos to Janice for opening up that quickly. Sometimes that takes months with your subject. Sometimes in this case it took minutes.
This is a good lesson you could teach them here.
So always you always want to be thinking about where you're going, not just where you are. So in this case, anticipation. Thank you. And
huge to me is like the number one characteristic if I'm looking for a DP, or the thing I'm thinking most, like as if I'm filming my own, if I'm actually doing the camera work on my own films, the number one thing I'm always thinking about is anticipation. Where are the characters going? While I'm focused here, it's like looking out the corner of my eye, seeing another character's coming into place here. Hold still. Don't jerk over. Anticipate the shot. So anyway, this is a good example.
This is like right here. You'll see. I'm trying to think about what's going through my head here. I look up here. I'm looking down the path there, and then I look back and I see our behind the scenes shooter, and I'm like, hey man, go behind us because here's the race. You'll see this.
You were gonna pan there.
Yeah, I know. I need to keep Janice in the shot, and I need to shoot our main character. So I'm backing up to keep her in the shot, and then Sean's gonna run by here. Where is he? Did I already get it? There he goes. And then I just slowly, to keep it one continuous shot, rather than whip panning back over to Janice, I walk back over here and I get her there with her camera. And so had I not looked back and told our behind the scenes shooter to get out of there, the shot would have been absolutely ruined. But we love our behind the scenes shooter, Jonathan Ritchie. You're amazing. One of our favorite. He's actually an AOD student. Let's actually watch that shot. Do I have it here? And then I'm trying to find him. Sean was way back there for how fast he is. There's the pan. See, I would have shot stupid autofocus grabbing that tree. And then we go. But I
might need to do a cut there.
Yeah, we'd do a cut there. And then we cut into the forest. This is just man, what a beautiful day and what a beautiful location that was. We've already talked. Did we speak about? Yeah, we already showed me earlier on talking about shooting B-roll.
Just to give like a little, like the setup here is I'm on the gimbal biking around, and Mark. So we have two cameras going on here. We
do not suggest this, but Mikey's a legend. Are these the first place guys at the first place? No, that's just laps. Yeah, because I'm saying their strides aren't that strong. There's Sean with that.
Sean's with some kid who he ends up beating him significantly, but it was
the kid was killing it though.
I was asking him to get ahead of him to make the shot look a little better. This is just Mark. It's a loop course. We're just getting, so you know in the edit you're only going to be using a minute from the race.
Exactly.
So it's just trying to get some. We scouted this out before, knowing we want to get the start. Mikey's going to get some stuff in the forest. Mark's going to get
And what we're always thinking with the edit is variety. You can't cut between the same shot,
right?
Unless something new happens in that shot.
Yes.
So what are we thinking? I'm like, okay, we got the start line. Mike's going to have the gimbal, and then I was like, what else can we get? So I'm like, I'm going to get on a long lens because if you're cutting between sizes in shot, you can cut anything, And so
we can throw that.
I think we actually have it. Do we right there? It's near the end. It would be the last clips. Was it? No, maybe I didn't put it in there because you loved. Oh, here it is. It is right.
There you go. Beautiful.
Yeah. There's Janice in the forest. That was when I was talking with her there in that forest. And then, yeah, here's Sean. I flipped it over to 180 because I knew, a race, you don't have much time. On the leaves falling. Look at that, bro. It hits him.
It's beautiful.
Oh, you couldn't ask for anything better. Except if I had had a Sony with autofocus, because I was pulling that focus myself. And then again, getting Janice in the shot. This is why I love a 24mm lens, because it's able to get everything.
He's done.
He's done. There he is. And I think we get a little kiss here. I don't know why I remember that. I just remember that. Oh, yeah, I remember thinking, I was like, oh, yeah, because I missed it. See, that's a moment, too, where I should have just stayed still.
Yeah.
But happens. I don't think we have... there I am with the long lens. When I'm on a long lens, its focus is kind of crazy, especially because I'm doing manual focus. So what I do is I practice on people coming by. But then I also practice on the pieces of ground or the trees at lifetime. I quickly go look at what's going to be my farthest focus, and I practice getting there, and then I practice all the way getting close, so that when the actual moment happens, I'm ready and practiced. I'm not actually thinking, oh, I think this might be him. I gotta go. No, that's not him. Oh, whatever. Power that down. I was just talking in that shot there about practicing, seeing how quickly I'm going to be having to zoom as they come close. I'll practice on a couple people running by, even though they're not our main character, because you only really get one shot at that. And so I think that's like, if you're going to be shooting a doc, just go out right now and follow some people around with the camera. Like you were saying earlier, I don't know if it got cut out, but you never go to battle with another man's gun. Like me and Mikey, we share the cameras, but we just both embrace our own style of using the camera and let the other person. It even means us having to go into the menus and switch it up, but that's fine. It's like we have different ways.
Mark swears by his small HD, and it's worked amazing for him. And I kind of love the viewfinder.
Yeah, you love having the loop up to your eye.
Yeah, I like having it.
And you make it work.
So it's it's
sometimes exposures. I'm kidding.
No, it's great.
Yeah.
So I think it's it's definitely sticking to your guns.
Yeah, and people always email me. I got like another 2 emails this morning asking about what arm that is on the monitor. And so there's two reasons why I use a monitor and an arm like that. One, I want to see the image as close to the final product as possible. So the closer that I can see the way it's going to look like on my computer, I want the biggest monitor. So for you, the next investment, make it a monitor. That's unless you're Mike, but you maybe want it, but I find it super helpful. And then also too, I use that giant arm because there's times where I'm going to have the camera low, but I want the screen up at my face. Because again, I don't want to have to be hunched over. I want to be in the most upright position possible if I'm going to be filming all day. So here's the final BTS here. Wow, sun is so much brighter from the morning. But you can see we're going backlit here on Sean.
It's the great pacing game. Like you see people walking.
Oh, I think I wish I would have had my
so much energy. You have to...
my ND filter there. Talk about this scene. I'm going to grab a battery.
So this girl he's talking to is one of the top Canadian marathon runners who knew Sean back from Toronto. They used to run in Toronto together, but no one knew about some of the issues he was struggling with. And so he's kind of coming forward and telling her now. And it's a pretty emotional scene, just honest, raw, real. And so we're just... we're out of it here. We're letting them do their thing, and we're always weak. The only time I'll ever pop my voice in is maybe at the end, just if there's one final thought, maybe. But like you can see right now, we're letting them go where they want, and almost always you'll get something. Like they'll listen here.
With us, stress fractures, many stress fractures. Other running issues, and then to be able to switch over, and then just get new.
So this is it, guys. This is what making a doc looks like for me, for the most part. I mean, you're sitting there, you're just you're catching, you're seeing what's happening, and the art in my mind is the patience. Like the art is the patience in letting things properly unfold. It's not trying to find super creative shots in the moment. Like it's like that, like
You always have B-roll days. Yeah. So
yeah, or even in this, like later on, if let's see if he rolls through it. But we get a few different angles. There, we're shooting from behind. I don't know. I remember we shot from behind a little bit, but for the most part here, you're trying to get some truthful moments more than trying to get like real. I don't know. I find personally like a great doc in my mind, the artistic, the thing that stands out to me often is not the filmmaker's ability to capture amazing B-roll and all that. It's really their ability to immerse me into some real conversation and some real moment where it doesn't feel staged. It doesn't feel like it's it's been replicated. There's been takes of it. It's like this is really happening, and you've put me here to witness this. And yeah, that's what we're trying to do, is trying to capture it without feeling, oh, here's one example where we did stage it just because we just happened to be moving at the wrong time. Well, I think we were just trying to get a different shot.
Yeah, that's great. Good seeing you again.
Hold your hug. Hold your hug.
Yeah, so that's one interruption. I don't like doing that.
No.
I don't. Anyway, we just wanted to. I didn't know they were gonna hug, so we were trying to get another angle, and then anyway.
Yeah, I wonder why we did that, but just to get it backlit or whatever.
Yeah, I know. It's just, I'm glad you're.
It was interesting seeing the dynamic. Janice didn't know whether to be with them or not in that
awesome.
scene.
No, seriously, like you.
She's one of the top marathon runners?
Yeah, she's represented Canada. Lindsay Tessier. She's a teacher. She got good when she was like 40. It's crazy. She was like always all right, and then she got really good.
This is just head down. This is my race.
Then we get to review. They've left now, and we get to review some footage, which is always fun.
Oh, dude, that's insane.
There.
We can cut to that. Yeah, this is just trying to create like some type of cinematic look, like trying to bring some production value, so the whole race isn't an establishing shot, one long lens, a couple passing by, and a finish. Like, this allows you to then enter his. For me, it's like I would imagine, we haven't edited this yet, but this is like I could hear his voice underneath this, and this is like a
especially
meditative
this shot,
right? Like something long, single, like as if it's a film. You've set this whole thing up on a Russian arm or something, but
this is you riding
backwards,
and holding a gimbal, full-on gimbal, backwards.
Facing forwards, biking forwards, facing the camera backwards.
It's amazing. We pay thousands of dollars to get this happen normally,
or to get to this is 90% as good as 80% as good as what you would pay 50 grand for.
Do you know what I think the ultimate setup for us to do is an electric bike with a carriage in the back and just one person. That's how we'll do it in the future.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I should bring back that long hair. I am very fond of that particular day of shooting. I have a YouTube video I'll link down below as well, where I actually did 2 shoot days. It was a very long one. I went and shot on Battleground as well. You'll never regret shooting a passion project. And even though Clear Sky has taken us over 6 years to now finally release online, it has been a joy to get to work on that project. And it's amazing seeing what Michael has created from that. And also having someone like Sean, such a brave main character who's opened up so many incredible and tough parts of his life on camera. And you can learn tons more about that film, about how we worked with the composers, how we edited it, how Mike went about shooting it, mostly just on his own, a couple days with me like you saw. That's all part of the art of documentary. As I mentioned, the doors for AOD are opening in late August, and we only open it about twice a year, and for that first 48 hours, all the courses are on sale. And we have courses for every aspect of your filmmaking. We want to help you become a better director, editor, shooter, producer, and filmmaker. Whether you've never created a film before or you're looking to perfect your latest project and really find your voice as a director, AOD is for you. There's filmmakers from over 80 countries and all levels of their career ready to collaborate with you. We have bi-weekly feedback calls where you can get your work reviewed if you're part of our advanced documentary course. And as well, we have monthly industry expert calls where we bring in incredible filmmakers from the industry, where you get the chance to interact with them and get your questions answered live on our calls. So don't miss out. Get on our waitlist for AOD. We'll be giving you tons more resources this summer. Appreciate you watching this. I hate goodbyes, but I'm a big fan of Zevia. sugar-free. Not sponsored. Maybe I should get a sponsor by them. That would be pretty good. All right, thanks, guys.